So this is my dinner for, I guess, about 11 o'clock on June 18th. I still haven't had any more sleep, but that's okay, because I had lots the past days, and so I guess it evens itself out somehow. Anyway, I'm having lentil broth again, and smoothie. And it's, I made it with so it's, no, I think it's blueberry, wild blueberry. It wasn't labeled, the bag, and I have a hard time telling between it. Saskatoons are a bit bigger, but when I'm just dumping them in, I'm not paying attention really. So anyway, it's my usual smoothie. So I have the healthy omega-3 fats in there, the protein, the fiber, and from the fruit, natural fruit fiber, and the natural sugars from the fruit. No sweetener, and probiotics, and that's that. It's really very simple. And I pretty much have the same smoothie every day. I like it. I used to have a smoothie with rosewater, cinnamon, cardamom, and brown rice protein powder, and almond milk. That's it. And it was good. Anyway, I don't know. I tend to eat the same things. So, I just finished listening to this, and I enjoyed it, but the president in this fictitious story did seem to be based on a certain president, and with a 23-year-old daughter. At the time, I think, when Clinton was president, that probably was Chelsea's age, about. Anyway, I don't know. I'd have to look into it. I don't really care. I enjoyed it, and I think anyone would really. It is a bit. The president, he's like, he's almost a superhero, because he has like teams of experts working on things, but somehow he comes in and goes, okay, well, I want to take charge here and I'm going to solve the problem, and he does, so there's a bit of that, which and while I was listening to that, I was reading this, because I've been meaning to read this one for a very long time. I've listened to an audiobook by this man before, and it came with a little book that I read, and it was good. So anyway, so I'm enjoying this. It's become sort of like a religion for me. I've read so many of these things, and a lot of it's the same information every time, so I really fly through these things. Like, I can read one of these in a morning usually, because I'm accustomed to doing so, right? But anyway, this is my dinner. For second breakfast, I didn't do so well. Yeah, somebody gave me this, and I don't know what did it. I was having to get dinner or breakfast ready for when James came over, and I guess I'd been working out in the yard and doing stuff, and then I came in, and this is what I felt like making. So I mixed it with sprouted lentils, which I'd cooked with the bay leaf and the sea salt, which I'm eating the broth of. So I made it about half and half lentils to make it not so horrible. And I took my usual supplements in the morning, so that's good, at least. But honestly, that's better than I've been doing lately. Oh, well, I showed you that bag of Tapsi or whatever that was, chips. And James has been doing the same thing. I don't know what it is. The past couple days, we've been out of control. I guess not completely out of control, because here I am eating broth and drinking smoothies. So, and I did have my first breakfast today, which was healthy, and I did take my supplements. So really, all in all, I did pretty well, but I can't explain that. I don't know. It was in the house. It shouldn't have been in there. I gotta get rid of the stuff that's bad. And I have to stop accepting things from people that are not good. But it's hard, you know, when somebody's giving you something and you want to be thankful. You want to appreciate what they're doing for you, because it is very kind of them to give you this stuff, and you're like, oh, thank you, you know, and then you put it in the house because you, again, you don't want to be disrespectful of that person's gift, right? But this has been a problem lately with, I'm very, very thankful for people giving us things, but there's a lot of things that we can't eat, given our health problems that are different, but that's not food for me. I can't do that. Like, I'll try all sorts of things to convince myself, because I want to eat this. I don't know why. I can't explain it. It doesn't even taste good. When I make it, I'm like, this is terrible. But somehow I want it. I think it's the color of the box. Honestly, I don't... That orange, that's fantastic. Against that blue, wow, right? I don't know what it is, but I totally want to eat this when I see it. And it's not good. I didn't make it with the, what does it call for milk and margarine? It calls for margarine and milk, skim milk. They have your health at mind, I guess, when I anyway, I didn't do that. And you know, so I'll try to do all sorts of healthier things with it, like add the sprouted lentils, and I'll be thinking, oh yeah, now it's a healthy meal. No, the sprouted lentils are the healthy part of the meal. That's still not. And or I'll go on a kick where I'm like adding pureed vegetables to it to make it creamy. Like baby food, broccoli or whatever. But you know, sometimes it probably helps to say it out loud, you know, when you're trying to convince yourself that you're making a healthy move or whatever. And like, I remember my mom trying to convince me that Mr. Noodles were healthy because you can put vegetables with them. And for me, like, once I say something out loud, then I can kind of go, oh wow, am I ever rationalizing something or whatever, right? And it just sounds ridiculous to me. And I know because you are your worst, the person you have to be most conscious of trusting, because you're going to try to convince yourself of all sorts of things that aren't true because you want to eat pretty orange and blue. I don't know. I can't explain it. But this is pretty blue. And it's a pretty purple drink. Well, if I put hemp protein in this, it wouldn't have been a pretty purple drink, but it still would have been pretty blue once I poured it into this. Boy, those kids are really upset. And well, you know, it's not that I'm not concerned about the fact that everything's online now. Like, if you think I don't have internet banking or anything like that hooked up, but you know, my money is still at the, you know, it could still disappear over the internet somehow because everything is actually online. And it's not that I don't believe the Russians could, or I don't know if they said Russians in here. I think they said Eastern European. I think they were trying to be politically correct. Anyway, would decide to, or it's not that I don't believe that they could get their computer guys together to turn off all the electricity and zero everyone's bank accounts and whatever. I just don't see why they would do it. And, you know, it takes some time, but they can put the pieces back together. We're not in a completely paperless society. So, anyway. But if this makes you decide to plant your own peat bales and grow some of your own food, just in case. You never know, if you have no money in your pocket and all your bank accounts are zero and can't go out for restaurant food now because my bank account's zero, you'll have a peat bale full of food waiting for you at home, right? So there you go. No, James and I have been under some stress lately. Just a little bit. So, you know, it's always... I don't know really what to do about it because it's people you care about, right? That you care about these people and then they have this drama going on and you get sucked into it. Your health ends up suffering because you're caring about something that they're creating for themselves, really. What do you do? Oh, the one with the cardamom in it, I'd also put a banana in there to sweeten it up. It's not that good without the banana. If you make that smoothie. I'm going to finish off this blender, but you don't need to watch me do it. Promise I will. Guess James will be home in a couple hours.